Welcome to the CHA Extracurricular Podcast. My name is Brady, and I'm excited to have Coach Arner here with us in the studio. Coach Arner, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming basketball season, kind of some of the goals that Coach Arner here has for the team and kind of what he expects out of the players and the outcome of the season. So with that, let's get right on into it. So, Coach Arner, kind of the first thing we kind of ask everybody is what brought you to CHA and how did you end up getting involved here?
Okay, well, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm excited to be in the dungeon, as we call it around here. So what brought me here was kind of during the COVID lockdowns. You know, my wife and I always visited my sister who works for Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. We loved it up here. We like how quiet it is. Birmingham kind of outgrew us. We're kind of old school in that we want our kids running around playing, climbing trees. And I think we kind of fell in love with the area, the temperature, the weather. Down in the south, you know, it's pretty humid. A lot of mosquitoes.
I understand.
So we just pulled the trigger, man, and made the move. And we've enjoyed it. It's been wonderful to have 4 seasons and see our kids growing up out here in the country. It's been great. So,
I know the school you were at before was a little bit different than CHA. So just to give people a little bit of context of where you were before and now being here.
So
what was that school like?
I've been at a couple different spots. Before I came out here, I worked at a Christian nonprofit called King's Home. And I was in charge of the horticultural program, working with young people that, you know, just needed some help getting their lives back in order. So we would take them and maybe they're kind of spared the judicial process, and if they could show us good behavior and things of that nature, then it would help their avenues. So, and then before that, I worked at a boarding school, and that was wild. It was an international boarding school, a lot of kids from different countries and different places around the country, and so it was really neat to be exposed to all that culture. And we did that for about 5-6 years, lived on campus, but we eventually outgrew that one as well because we had 2 or 3 kids come along the way, and when you're doing dorm duty to midnight, Mrs. Arner got a little tired, so we decided Mrs. Arner took a job at my kids' school, Oak Mountain, as the nurse, and I took a job at King's Home. So, I've been around. I've done a lot of different things. It's been a neat journey to lead us here, out here in Rocky Mount. So
very cool. I could see being at a boarding school being fun for like a couple years.
Yeah, I think year 4 was at that point. Waking up at midnight. Doing airport runs till and then 4 a.m. It's a young man's game.
I bet
for sure. Yeah. Brady's got a good one for you here next, and this probably connects to your previous experience as well.
Sure.
So how long have you been involved in coaching sports? Not even like basketball, just kind of like I know you were coaching soccer and everything. And what different places have you coached? I know you were talking about boarding school and everything.
Yeah. So I would say I've coached. My friend Todd and I. Funny story. We were playing high school soccer. We were juniors or seniors, and they came to us and said, we need a coach for St. Mary's, little organization, 2nd grade, maybe something like that. And so we were like, yeah, we'd love to help out. Went in there with, unrealistic expectations. We tried to coach these kids that were chasing butterflies, and I liked coaching, but that was my first taste of it, and we did a terrible job because we were trying to coach these kids opposed to having fun. But I've coached high school basketball, high school soccer, volleyball. I've coached college basketball, and I would say I started to get serious right after graduation, in college at Spring Hill. Did a year of that local, and then I went out to San Diego
Okay.
Where my coach took a job out at UCSD.
Oh, wow.
And so working out there for a year was a lot of fun. It was a very good learning experience.
Definitely.
And then Ms. Arner and I got serious, so I moved back to Alabama to, pursue getting married and taking on that next step of our journey. So, but when I got back, I coached at John Carroll as an assistant, and we won the state title, and very good team there. And then from there, I took a job at Montgomery, and then I ended up at the boarding school in Birmingham. So I've been around. I've coached a lot of different places, a lot of different sports. What I like about it is kind of like what I liked about playing sports was the locker room atmosphere, being part of something, still being involved in games that I love and have a passion for. Playing it certainly is a different experience than coaching it, but it's still, there's some similarities in that, it's kind of a brotherhood. It's kind of a connection that, I got. And I think one of your questions here was, kind of what I was doing, what brought me back to CHA is kind of what I missed. I was working in Roanoke in sales, working in a cubicle.
Right.
Answered phone calls and doing stuff, and, it just wasn't for me.
Right.
I like being, part of that process. And then my son, Everett, he's now an 8th grader. He's kind of getting into that age of where I'd be coaching him. So that was a really fun idea, being able to be there for him,
right,
and be part of his teams. So that's kind of that's my story on how I got here.
I have to admit, I find it hard to see Mr. Arner in a cubicle for 8
8
hours a day.
It'd be like Connor in a classroom. Okay?
Oh, man.
So with that, though, and kind of coming full circle here back to coaching, and thinking about the challenges you faced with second graders, right?
Yeah.
And then you have coached high school stuff here.
Sure.
Is there a sweet spot that you prefer, but also kind of a fun thing to me is I know you're into basketball, you're into these sports, like a lot. So what's it like creating that balance when you've got kids at a certain level, regardless of age, and knowing how to I can only go this far, and
Sure.
that's okay.
Sure.
Versus we need to just have fun this year,
Right.
or how do you kind of figure that out? What's that like for Coach Arner?
Yeah, I think it's it's going to be discipline from early to the latter stages. You're going to want people to listen, kind of follow in line of the philosophy of the team. But yes, 100%. The older ages can do more schematically. You can scout games. It's a lot more coaching, a lot more fun. The younger age is going to be more development. And like you were saying, you got to make it fun. Otherwise, you'll kind of lose maybe some attention. So I would say, heavy development. Anytime I talk to young people that want to get into coaching, get them to understand, it all goes back to riding a bike. If you can't walk yet, you can't ride a bike. So don't skip steps. Teach them how to dribble, pass, and shoot. Or if it's volleyball, teach them how to pass. Or, golf. It doesn't matter what sport it is. You got to start from the basics. But try to make it fun at those early ages. Have some fun games. The really neat thing is now y'all have got YouTube. When we were coaching, starting off, we'd go to coaching conferences and we'd work camps. I worked at the Alabama basketball camp and Illinois camp. I'd go travel during the summer to all these different colleges and camps so that I could learn things from people that have been doing it, games and terminology and vernacular. Now you can go on YouTube and become a master at a lot of different things. There's such good material out there. So, it's I would say, keeping it lively, young. But my favorite age is probably that, that varsity level to college level. It gets really exciting because you can really, when you're not having to teach layups, you can kind of go in there and teach them something, kind of advanced.
Yeah, right.
So that's fun for me.
I love how there's still these common things that can be learned at every age.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Gotta listen.
Like structure. Yep. And how does practice work?
Right.
Certainly different coaches run it differently, but
Absolutely.
they still need your attention, your focus, your heart, right? That sort of thing. So that's kind of cool. If you're out there and you're thinking about coaching, I think that's a cool word to take home today. Is like this. There are elements that lead to the next level, and it doesn't have to be how good you dribble or whatever it might be. Right. Yeah.
Got to listen. Got to make good eye contact. We talk a lot about good nonverbals. You know, when you're on the bench, how do you look? Are you engaged? Are you clapping? Are you into the game? Are you sitting back disgruntled, you know, with something? So we want to break those habits. It's very normal to have that kind of mentality, but we want to break it at an early age and say, you signed up for a team sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just about you and your points, but more about, you know, the team and what you can bring. And even guys that, you know, maybe don't get a whole lot of playing time, let's say, you know, you add a whole lot of value when you practice and push the ones, or if you're on the bench and you're, able to clap loud and be ready when your number is called.
Yeah.
I think those are big things when you're part of a team atmosphere.
Lots of character development.
Yes.
What you got next for us, Brady?
So what made you decide to coach at CHA, and how does like coaching sports and kind of your PE class kind of go together?
The CHA thing goes back to just, you know, for me pursuing things that, you know, gave us better time, family, work-life balance,
Right.
and also doing something that, you know, I'm passionate about, opposed to, you know, doing something that doesn't excite me. So,
Right.
you know, that's kind of what got me here. But as far as the thing I like about the PE program here is we've got wonderful facilities. We've got fields and weight rooms and tennis courts. So versatility is a lot of fun for me as well. So we're actually finishing up. It's a little rainy this week, but we're finishing up CHA Wimbledon. So we've taken our tennis classes, and now we're finishing with a tournament at the very end. So I like being, I like exposing kids to different sports and activities and workout things. So maybe something will stick. Maybe in 10 years, you're trying to stay in shape. You're trying to improve your longevity in life. And you find something, and running isn't your jam. Maybe you can find something like pickleball or tennis and tap back into some of these lessons that we've done here, here at CHA. So exposing our kids to different sports and avenues so they can, keep their body healthy, honor God by, really, living life to the fullest, but also keeping your health a priority. So
I know we've talked about this before too. I love how you take the approach of, if I can get these kids in PE class to understand how this sport works, then that makes them better, not participants, but I can't get the right word right now, but people who are at the game watching, and they can be a part of the game that way, because now they know what's going on. They know why they're cheering for so-and-so who just did this amazing thing, and they kind of understand that more. And I think that's a great thing to instill in our students, is an understanding of a sport, so that then they can support their home team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Their
we had a great turnout for girls volleyball this year. I think the boys really got into it during PE. And it also improves safety. Anytime that you're trying to teach positions, I remember growing up and being part of PE classes and running into people because it was kind of a little chaotic. So we want to make sure that things are safe, and so we're going to teach you positions and kind of the base of everything. And some of our volleyball girls are like, "Well, we've already done this," but I said, "This is gonna engage everybody and hopefully teach them the game that you love, so that they come and support you on Fridays or whenever the games are." So, and that's what the culture that we want to create here and build on, is inclusive and making sure that we kind of are teaching these kids, the games that we love and are passionate about, so they come and support and find that joy as well.
Let's jump into CHA basketball
Sure.
specifically.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Brady, I'll let you roll on with that.
So like Mr. Keller was saying, kind of directing towards that upcoming basketball season. What goals do you have for the upcoming basketball season? Like, what are some things that you're looking for?
So, when I first got here, it's really hard to, unless you've got, 6'5", 6'8", a bunch of kids that are ready to go. It's hard to win when you're introducing new systems. So I told parents, I've told kids, we're trying to build a foundation here. So we really want to start and just be patient. But yeah, I think we're going to see some growth in year 2. So what I'm expecting in year 2, and I try not to, I want these guys to focus on being outcome oriented, not outcome oriented, but kind of process oriented. So we're not worried about, let's necessarily wins or the points, but we're focused on day to day, rep to rep, so that if you do that every day and you work every day and you work on your shot every day, and you're not letting a missed shot kind of, put you in despair, right? And not working, it can kind of hinder your growth. So what I really want to see from them on the court this year is that maturity, because I think last year we struggled at times if we miss a shot getting back on defense because we're thinking, I failed. You're going to fail on any sport you play. You're going to be imperfect. But the culture that we want to build here is, togetherness, toughness, mental, physical toughness. So we want to see a lot of that. I'm optimistic. We returned for varsity. We're returning 3 starters, and then 2 or 3 guys that have meaningful minutes. So experience is big. They know me. They know my expectations, what I expect. JV is returning a lot as well. Coach Pugh is going to coach the JV team, and then our middle school is looking really good at this point. We're returning a lot of kids, and I'm excited that what kind of the season, what's in front of us. I think all 3 teams are going to be competitive. So hopefully, if we can stay true to being process oriented, working every day in practice, working on the details, the wins will follow, which will be exciting for everybody.
Yeah.
So
you make me think a lot about grit. Right?
Yes.
Like that's what we're teaching these students. We hope, right? And the playing field is an awesome place to learn grit. There's just something different about engaging in athletics and maybe literally falling down and having to get back up, or missing that shot and mentally having to change gears and keep moving. Right. So tell us a little bit more about grit and how the court can be a place that teaches, of course, lessons in academics, but of course on into life as well. Yeah,
I think so much of what I draw into in frustrating days or relationships, whether it's parent, friends, relationship with your wife, or you're going to need to be able to communicate. You're going to need to be able to, handle tough days. And a lot of what sports kind of teach you and you can tap into is selflessness, being able to work with people. And sometimes it's an intense situation, okay? And just what Mr. Keller was saying, when you fail, okay, which there's going to be failure, there's going to be loss in life, there's going to be tough days. You don't get through this life without some tough times. And I think sports do a nice job of kind of getting you resilient, developing your character. And it's not just about, winning games or things like that, but you're part of a team, and you've got to learn how to work within the confines of that team, right? And that's not always easy too, because you might be like, hey, I want to do this, but the team needs you to do that. Right. So it all goes back to being selfless and a team player. And exactly, I think grit's a perfect word to kind of summarize playing basketball or soccer or volleyball, whatever it is. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves and stick with it, because it's a very difficult game, and you've got to have some character and some toughness to be successful at it, for sure.
I think that's a great place for us to kind of land with that selflessness and that grit. I think those are great words for us to keep in mind moving forward here at school and on the court. So, Brady, why don't you take us home, man?
Yeah. I do have just one more question. As we, kind of wrap this up, what goals do you have for the future, basketball-wise? Some of the things that you're looking for, kind of already looking towards next year's season. Some people will be leaving as their seniors, and you're gonna have some people, stepping up, playing, JV and varsity. So what are some of the goals that you're looking for?
Well, I want when you come in to watch this team that you see a team that never quits, plays together, and talks. And what that looks like is when you're, watching CHA basketball, you're seeing people dive on the ball for a loose ball. You're seeing people communicate and talk on the court. If you don't see those things, that means if we're down a couple points and all of a sudden we shrink in these moments, we're not where we want to be. And I want people to come in and watch a game and say, win or loss, we're proud of this team because they're holding true to the characteristics that we value, here at CHA. So, never quit, supporting each other, good nonverbals, head up. That's really what I want to see us do and be. The wins and the losses will come. You're going to have wins. You're going to have losses. But I think, I hope and I pray that we can turn that corner this year. And then the younger guys coming, they'll emulate what they see.
Right.
And all of a sudden now we've got exactly what we want here.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, thanks for having me on the pod.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, man. So thank you, Coach Arner, for coming in and talking with us today. I look forward to having you on the podcast again sometime in the future. Maybe talk about some different sports. Don't forget that you can find the podcast on YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and share. And with that, we're going to sign off here. So we'll see you guys on the next one.